Good afternoon and welcome to a sun-drenched Episcopal Academy. It is the Interac de facto championship between two very strong schools, Episcopal Academy and the Haverford School Fords. And Episcopal right away on the face-off into offensive territory and running away, and that is number 7, Rowan Brumbaugh, who started off the offense, and he's down behind the net now trying to look for that outside pass. We will get you numbers and players as the season progresses, as the game progresses here. Gabe Fury, number 40, he's going to be the attack player that Episcopal is going to be looking for. He has been their top goal scorer this season. It is back up top now to number 32, Charlie Cuniff. Cuniff has been a strong suit player for the Churchmen all season long, as they are drawn down the side now by Jackson Tuma. Tuma goes in the back to Nick Bates. Bates looking on that right side, trying to find a hole. We are early in the first quarter. It is 12-minute quarters in high school lacrosse. Bates now again. Episcopal clearly trying to work that right side in the white jerseys, blue numbers, blue helmets. Haverford in the all maroon with white numbers. This is Chris McCoon. McCoon with a shot, and he scores! First goal of the game, a rifle from Chris McCoon early on. Just about a minute 20 in.
What are you kidding me?
And puts the Churchmen on the board. For McCoon, that's going to be his 7th on the season, giving him now an upper hand. And here we go, right away again. Quick shots from Gabe Fury, as the Churchmen have won both face-offs that have been held so far in the game. Haverford has had themselves on the heels. This is Brumbaugh up top working with McCarthy. Brumbaugh again now working the left side this time. Pitching back to number 33, Lucas Synan. Synan and Brumbaugh up top, as Brumbaugh is now going to try down the right side but decides to go back to Synan. Synan wheeling and dealing inside is pushed right up and a shot and a score. The Haverford walls seem to be no issue, and it is quickly 2-0. For Synan, his 5th on the season. And Haverford, who in a previous SFBN game we saw drive out to a quick lead against Malvern, now finds themselves on the reverse side of this, as Episcopal has quickly drawn out a 2-0 lead, 9:42 left to go here in the first. And another face-off win, this time from Jack Henderson in the circle. And Fury runs it down the side. Up top, and it's Chris McCoon. McCoon down in the corner to Bates. Bates looking on the end around. He's got Brumbaugh behind the net and back out to Bates now. And up top to Synan, and he will settle it. Along with Charlie Cuniff. Cuniff and Synan have been 2 up top. Brumbaugh we've seen check back a few times, but he's been mainly holding behind the cage. This is now McCoon working the left side. McCoon's going to go in up top. Shot saved. And Haverford will have their first chance at possession. And it's run out by Gavin Burke. Burke will just take it all the way down the line. Fakes a shot at the cage, and then Haverford settles and tries to get anything set. Brennan McBride on the outside line. Around to O'Grady. O'Grady will set it along with Adam Salvaggio. Salvaggio, whose name we called a number of times during the game against Malvern. And Salvaggio, an inside threat on the Haverford offense. Malvern running strong defense, keeping Haverford out to the wings, not trying to let them get the inside cut. This is Peyton Holloway. Holloway trying a drive, pushed out immediately to the side. They go back up top to Salvaggio. Trying to look inside is Peter Garno. Garno unable to convert. And it is Episcopal heading the opposite direction. And that's Declan McCarthy. McCarthy to Furry. Furry getting pressure that pushes him back. He goes to Cordy Fisher. Fisher tossing off to Nate Hunter. Hunter looking deep, and he goes down behind the cage to Bates, and the ball will cycle around. Up top to Schellinger. Andrew Schellinger, one of the senior midfielders on this Episcopal team.
Okay, where's Becerra? Becerra, you're two, right?
Up top inside, and the pass that was trying to go for Bates over top of the back of the cage was unsuccessful, but it's picked up by Fisher. Fisher now has a chance. Tossing off to Nate Hunter. Hunter looking around on the right side, and Episcopal has been favoring that right side here through most of the first quarter. And a slip on the turf from Gabe Fury does not convert the offensive possession well for Episcopal, and they turn the ball over. And Haverford has their second ball of the game. Chance up the middle is Matt Costin. Costin just on a long run by himself before he finally dumps down to O'Grady. O'Grady pushes behind to Scott Deck. First time today we've called Scott Deck's name. Deck, one of those senior attackers on the Haverford team, and has been strong on the backdoor cut this season. Deck pushes around with TJ Malone. Malone trying to look for anything inside, dumps one over top to O'Grady. O'Grady tries to go around. He can't get anything, and a punch across the back on Scott Deck is going to draw a penalty flag here, but of course play will continue. It's going to be a delayed call, and we'll see how this play results out for Haverford. Deck trying to go back around, dropped ball, picked back up. Deck stick checked again, picked up this time by Colin Lawhead, and the penalty will be called. So it is Colin Lawhead who is the guilty party with a slashing call, and he's going to go to the box for a minute. 5:09 remaining on the clock in the first power play of the game for Haverford. Haverford pushing around now, trying to find the inside. They have not had one inside cut throughout this first quarter. And as Peter Garno up top controlling this possession for Haverford. The down man is TJ Malone. Scott Deck. Deck inside. A dump by Brennan McBride. And it's possession kept by Haverford, and the inbound will come from O'Grady. Check that as it's dumped off by O'Grady, and TJ Malone will get the restart. Malone off to Pierce Glavin. Haverford still cycling. They have tried twice to cut inside to no avail. They're going to go from up top at a rifle shot by Peter Garno is tipped and then caught by Ryan McCann. He gives it to Carter Strid, and the Episcopal offense tries for a long ball, but that's turned over to Ryan Nigman, one of the long stick defenders, as he is checked from behind. Haverford still controlling possession as they are deep now with TJ Malone. Malone trying to go for the wraparound, can't convert, has to dump across the deck. And a procedure violation will give the ball to Episcopal. And he is caught out from behind. And Deck has the first goal for Haverford. 3:12 left in the first, and we sit at 2-1. Chess came way out, about 15 yards outside of his net, and trying to will on his D's and mids. And to no avail, it ended up working against him, as Haverford got a quick turnover and found the back of the net. Pick up by Henderson on the face-off, giving it to Bates. Bates looking around the back side of the cage. Up top to McCarthy. McCarthy dishes off to McCown. Back down to Bates.
Hey, let's go! Oh!
Yes, okay, so one.
To Gabe Fury. Fury trying to work that right side. He's going to go behind the cage. For those who are new to lacrosse or new to watching lacrosse, if you hear the coaches yelling ice, because of course we're sitting right behind the Episcopal bench, they are not talking about holding the ball. They are more talking about an ISO play, which is going to create a strong rotation. With a one-player hold behind the cage. A dish and a dump from Rowan Brumbaugh, flying across the crease. Has an insurance goal for Episcopal, as they are back now 3-1 with 1:56 left in the first. So despite the penalty, it has not deterred from Episcopal holding strong on offense. And Henderson goes back to the circle with his team up 3-1, trying to get his fourth face-off win of the game, and he gets the pickup, and it's tipped off, and Haverford has a run here with Deck alongside O'Grady, dishing down behind the cage to Malone. Deck, O'Grady, and Malone seem to be left alone right now, as now Peyton Holloway comes in. Haverford on the line change gets Adam Salvaggio, and then Salvaggio is going to try to run right up the middle. He is pushed outside, dumps it down to Deck. Deck looks back up top as he's got the ball to O'Grady now. O'Grady trying to run the offensive possession up the right-hand side to no avail. And it's Garno and Salvaggio. Now Salvaggio trying to go up the middle again, can't find a lane. Around to Malone. Malone tries to dump over top, and a goal is good from TJ Malone. 48.3 seconds left in the first, 3-2. The Churchmen still in the lead. And is what has been a pretty back and forth first quarter. Henderson coming into the game today, 63 of 114 on faceoffs. In lacrosse, that is a very good statistic. And a scrum here as a stick falls out of the hands of the aforementioned Henderson. And Haverford finally does have control. They're going to look to try to tie this before the buzzer sounds. It's O'Grady. And a goal is scored as one referee waves it off. And they're going to say no. No goal. And whistles around as Lowhead was trying to make a quick run. The clock has 18.8 seconds showing. And now with Lowhead all the way back, he might be best to just try to run out the period. 5 seconds remaining, and it looks, hoping that nothing goes to avail, the clock will run out here as Haverford quickly got the ball back, and O'Grady tried to rip a shot off, but the buzzer sounds and the period comes to a close as we sit with Episcopal leading 3-2. Today's game is brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions, a longtime supporter of Philadelphia area and youth and high school athletics. Payroll Service Solutions provides not only the basic runnings of your company payroll, but can also provide your company health care and retirement benefit plans, as well as all your company insurance needs. If you're a small to medium-sized business looking for a payroll and benefits company, contact Payroll Service Solutions today at 1-866-PAY-EASY or go to their website, www.payroll-solution.com. As mentioned, once again, we are on the campus of Episcopal Academy on the Sports Fanbase Network. The closing stages of the Interac Boys Lacrosse season in the state of Pennsylvania, featuring two elite programs, Episcopal Academy and Haverford School, and a doozy of a first 12 minutes has us sitting at 3-2. Faceoffs predominantly dominated by Episcopal, 4 wins on the faceoffs for Jack Henderson. And whereas Episcopal seemed to jump out to a quick 2-0 advantage, Haverford School found a way to answer back.
I can stop the stream and tell Ricky to stop it. Well, actually, if he stops the camera and leaves the Facebook Live and we push live again, we'll come back on.
And an interesting story coming into the game about sophomore goaltender Matt Chess for Episcopal. Chess lives all the way outside of Lancaster, PA, and actually drives into the Philadelphia suburban area each day just so that he can attend Episcopal Academy and to be able to play lacrosse here. To put it in perspective, it's essentially driving Philadelphia to New York City and then back every single day to be able to attend this school and this program. So a great story about Chess coming into the course of this game, as we were talking with both schools throughout the week. And he's been a stellar performer in the net for Episcopal this season in just his second year, with a 55% save average, which in high school lacrosse is a good stat to have. Episcopal trying to create offensive possession here as we start the second quarter. Episcopal in the all white with blue numbers and helmets. Haverford in the all maroon with white numbers. And Haverford will have the ball, trying to quickly move upfield, and a toss-off to Jack Leary. Leary dumping behind to Deck. Deck up top. to Garno. Garno trying to drive through the middle, cannot find anything, slides before he finally dumps off to O'Grady. O'Grady pushes all the way up top, and the ball comes all the way back. Picked up on a run, shot and scored by 13, Nick Bates. So a miscue on a pass back from the Haverford offense gives a open field ball. Bates picks it up and drives straight down to the cage for a 4-2 Episcopal lead. Just a shade over a minute into the second period. Henderson, and another potential face-off win for him. Is scrubbed out over the back, and it will be Haverford ball taken by Jack Leary. Leary up top with Peter Garno and Adam Salvaggio, and Leary now coming back to the midfield line, and he's going to check out on the change. So it'll be Salvaggio up top with Peyton Holloway and Peter Garno to the outside. Garno pushes back now with Holloway. Holloway looking to try to work that left side. Up top to Salvaggio. Salvaggio drives right down the middle, trying, ripping, and scoring. A drive and a rope from Adam Salvaggio has his first goal of the game. And the back fourth continues for 3, still a Churchman lead. Scrum in the center, still a loose ball, and Henderson is popped, but it is picked up by the midfield and now controlled. Chess has it behind the net. Trying to look to send it, tipped, and then finally picked up by Ryan McCann. McCann can get it up to midfield, and now to Henderson. Henderson will try to work the right side. Loose ball. Picked up and going the opposite direction now is Edward King for Haverford. He dumps off to Scott Deck, and the forwards will change. Deck in the corner having a catch with Luke O'Grady. O'Grady up top to Garno, to Salvaggio, across to Holloway, who will try to work the right side. Holloway behind the cage to Malone. Malone tries to wrap around, no avail for him. Goes off to Deck. Deck tries to wrap around, no avail for him. Goes to O'Grady, who tries to wrap around, and no avail for him as he tries a low ground shot through the 5-hole of Chess. And we are all knotted at 4 with 8:45 left to play in the first half. Friday Night Lights of the spring version in the state of Pennsylvania. That always means lacrosse. And a doozy of a game on the Sports Fan Base Network tonight. Henderson in a fight with Bobby Gibson. And this one goes against Henderson again. And Haverford has possession. So face-offs, which had been so key for Episcopal in the first quarter, have come back to haunt them in the second quarter. As face-off violations twice now have given Haverford the ball. And it's Glavin
I'm going to walk up near Ricky since he's not even on the same level as me.
trying to run it across, and the ball deep in the corner. And Deck will have the restart. Deck trying to wrap around it. It's off the crossbar and comes out. And much to the dismay of the Episcopal coaches, it is a Haverford ball. Back around to Costin. Matt Costin trying to drive through the middle. Blocked by 3 white jerseys from Episcopal. And it has continued to move. Around. This is TJ Malone trying to continue to work that right side. Dumps around, and Haverford will try to reset up top with Costin. Costin, McBride, the top 2 for Haverford, as they try to push Glavin now deep. Glavin working the corner, unavailable to get through, so he goes back to Malone. And now again back to the corner. Haverford trying to find something on that right side. It has been no avail for them as Deck now tries to come up, but he's going to decide to cut behind the cage. A quick shot out, ripped across. By Luke O'Grady. That skipped off of the post again and out of bounds. But a Haverford hold. And it's McBride now trying to look inside. He can't find anything, so he checks behind the cage. Coming back around, and a tipped ball is a down ball, but it'll be picked up and still controlled by Haverford. Glavin on the left side now to O'Grady. O'Grady checking and nothing, so he goes behind the cage, and Haverford will try to set from behind with Malone. TJ Malone checked up and took a run as he looked for a wraparound. Doesn't find space. Stick check, finds it, and dumps one across. An over-the-shoulder shot from TJ Malone, and Haverford has flipped this game on its head and now leads 5-4. 5:29 left to go before halftime. Wouldn't have expected this with the way Episcopal came out blaring.
Here you go, 12!
Oh, and a head grab from Jack Henderson is not going to be good for Episcopal. The flag comes out, and they're going to be a man down. There are 2 flags on the field, so we're going to have to see if they're relative to the same call. Salvaggio working down that left side for Haverford, checking behind the cage now. Stops, stutter, starts, looks to go. Dumps across, and a stop by Chess on the shot from Deck. And we'll see what we get the call here from the referees. Looks like it's going to be a holding call. white 12, which is Jack Henderson, as we mentioned, for a hold. It's going to be a 30-second infraction. And a timeout has been called. So a game that started out seeming like it was going to be all Churchman has been flipped on its head by the Fords as we sit 5-4 Haverford now with 4:37 left to go in the first half. Today's game is brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions, a longtime supporter of Philadelphia area youth and high school athletics. Payroll Service Solutions provides not only the basic runnings of your company payroll, but can also provide your company health care and retirement benefit plans, as well as all your company insurance needs. If you're a small to medium-sized business looking for a payroll and benefits company, contact Payroll Service Solutions today at 1-866-PAY-EASY or go to their website at www.payroll-solution.com. On the Sports Fan-Based Network from Episcopal Academy, the springtime version of Friday Night Lights, Boys Lacrosse in the state of Pennsylvania, and an Interac game between two extremely elite programs in Episcopal and Haverford. A de facto Interac championship game, as these two teams have both beaten the third of the elite programs, Malvern Prep. So the winner of this game can essentially claim themselves as being not only one of the best in southeastern Pennsylvania, but the best in their conference. Haverford has possession down to the right-hand side, trying to work the left side of their offensive zone. And it's Garno up top, working with McBride and TJ Malone. And a dumped ball deep evades Pierce Glavin, and he will get the restart. A quick inside attempt blocked away. Malone had the ball. And the penalty expires as the release is made. And a timeout called by Haverford as they cannot seem to find anything coming out of the left or right side. So the Episcopal defense seemingly finding a way to put Haverford's offense on its heels, pushing the wings out, and it has kept Haverford trying to cycle the ball behind the cage, looking for cuts, but not able to find anything. So Haverford calls a timeout, and the coaches will talk this one over. .354 left until halftime, 5-4 Haverford. As the sun is setting in front of us, which thankfully has been covered over by clouds now. During pregame, it was blaring right off the turf, and I'm sure, having played lacrosse on turf fields myself, as a player, you do not want to see that sun because it will shine brightly and get in your eyes and prevent you from being able to see the ball clearly. So the fact that the clouds rolled in just as face-off occurred in this game proved very key to both Haverford and Episcopal, and to us as well as broadcasters. A quick turnaround and a shot from TJ Malone does not find the cage. And Haverford will have a start with Deck. Deck goes up top to Holloway and Salvaggio. Salvaggio back to Holloway. Goes across to Garno. Garno tries to drive in. Wicked shot and a score. And a now 2-goal lead for Haverford at 6-4 with 3:19 left in the half. And the Episcopal defense has a discussion right in front of their goaltender, Matt Chess, and the Episcopal crease. A change in the face-off circle as we now see Jackson Tuma. Down for Episcopal. Tuma battles hard, ball pops out, driving for it. He is checked from behind. They will get the call, and Episcopal has offensive possession. Up top with McCarthy. Quick switches bring Chris McCown in. So McCarthy and McCown up top. McCarthy drives, goes to the corner to Bates. Bates on the end around. Looks up top for Fury. Gabe Fury has been quiet today. A rare sight for Episcopal fans, as he has been one of the most lethal players offensively for the Churchmen all season long. Back down underneath to Bates. Episcopal cycling around, having trouble getting inside. This is Brumbaugh up top. Brumbaugh trying to find passage on the left side. Brumbaugh unable to find the left side. He goes now behind the cage. Looks up top to McCown. McCown drives right across. Dumps to Tuma. Tuma can't find, so he goes to Brumbaugh. The left-hand side not proving positive for Episcopal. Brumbaugh has to go all the way behind the cage. A chance wraparound and a wild shot from Charlie Cuniff goes sailing. And to the avail, to no avail, of the Haverford coaches screaming red. It is a white ball. And Rowan Brumbaugh will get the restart. 1:20 left in the first half. 6-4 Haverford over Episcopal on the Sports Fan Base Network. From Episcopal Academy, and a quick shot by McCown tips off of a Haverford defender's stick. And the restart comes from Bates, and a timeout called by Episcopal with 1:06 to go. And seemingly a more defensive-minded discussion happening with Episcopal versus Haverford.
I'm a student here. I got injured, so I'm managing.
No, I'm not now prep. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you got that on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got you. Yeah, totally separate.
I'm from Navajo. I went to prep. I didn't play
Yeah.
You guys were
Coming out of the timeout, a reset 1:06 to go in the first half. 6-4 Haverford over Episcopal.
I got all three lights. I got all three lights. I got all three lights in the camera. I'm only recording it to their memory cards, the EA's memory cards. I'm not. We don't have a copy of the game. We're supposed to record it so EA can get it immediately after the game. That's what we're doing.
And EA has the restart with McCown.
Yeah, but I don't know how long that's gonna take. All right.
McCown up top, dumps underneath. A quick come across from Cuniff.
All right. I just tried to go to SFBN.com. I know it takes a long time.
And a scramble
So I got
continuing for the loose ball finally is controlled and picked up by Haverford, and that's Jack Leary. Leary runs across the midfield line. And a whistle, stoppage of play, and a timeout. So Haverford and Episcopal both releasing all of their timeouts through the entire first half. 27.5 to go, 6-4. Still the score for Haverford.
Yeah, oh, I know. He's done a good job. Like, even last year, his first year, I could see a difference between just day and night. Yeah, he just scattered great.
Yeah, the other guy was like 10 and
Yeah.
This time a
Exactly.
offensive-minded discussion from Haverford's coaches, a defensive-minded discussion from Episcopal's coaches. Haverford will have the restart.
I'm dead serious.
I filmed for next game.
Ball was on the left-hand side of Haverford's zone when the timeout was called. And we'll see how they reset their lines here. We see Brennan McBride walking across towards that position where the timeout was called. Adam Salvaggio up top now along with Peyton Holloway. And it is McBride who will go pick up the ball from the official. Check that, Peter Garno. Garno now goes across. So Garno will get us restarted with Holloway and Salvaggio up top.
No, Township actually.
Holloway goes to make a run, a stick check slash, and a flag immediately flies. And Salvaggio with a chance, saved by Chess. Ball goes out, and we'll see what the call is going to be from the officials. And it is 22 Quinn Chambers, the junior midfielder, called for the slash and goes to the box for 1 minute, which will continue in the second half, as that is the buzzer sounding the conclusion of the second quarter. Haverford 6, Episcopal 4. You're watching Boys Lacrosse on the Sports Fan Base Network.
Oh, wait.
Welcome back on the Sports Fan Base Network. A reset on the game has us coming out of the half. Haverford 6, Malvern 4. And today's game is brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. As we are underway, Haverford ball to start the second half in the all maroon with white numbers. Episcopal in the all white with blue numbers and blue helmets. And on the start, Haverford in a quick shot is blocked by Matt Chess. The shot coming off of the stick of TJ Malone. Chess with the ball. Now looking up the center. Dishes out to his long pole, which is Colin Lawhead. And Lawhead runs all the way up to the midline, and they do not get the switch correctly, so it goes the other direction. So Haverford with the ball, Garno up top. As the penalty is released. That was the slashing penalty that was called just before the conclusion of the second quarter, and had about 55 seconds remaining on that 1 minute infraction as we started the third. Malone trying to go inside. No avail for him, and O'Grady starts it around to Garno. Garno, Salvaggio, and Holloway up top. As Holloway tries to drive, he goes to Salvaggio. That ball is loose, and it goes all the way back, and it's an over and back, and it'll be Episcopal ball. And a quick run from Gabe Fury. Fury down the left side. Fury up top to McCown. McCown to Tuma. Tuma now into the corner to Bates. Bates will go behind the net. That's Charlie Cuniff. Cuniff goes all the way up top, and they reset up top with Brumbaugh and Tuma. Rotation from Episcopal, trying to find the slot inside. They have been unable to do so far. Cuniff running around, trying to find a hole, just decides to wrap around himself, and it is blocked and then punched away, and an interference call is made. So it's going to turn back to Episcopal. Tuma and Brumbaugh up top, along with McCown and Fury. Loose ball, and it's picked up by Haverford, heading quickly the opposite direction is Leary. Leary dumping off to Burke. Burke rifles one wide to the side of Episcopal goaltender Matt Chess. No touches on it, maintains Haverford ball. Deck and O'Grady having a little toss and catch. And O'Grady finally tips out to Matt Costin. Costin will do the same with Brennan McBride. Brennan McBride extremely quiet and very unseen today. And he holds up top, and a wicked shot from O'Grady sails high over top of the crossbar. Maintained by Haverford, and TJ Malone tries to start, and he can't get anything. Haverford will try a third time as they start with O'Grady and Scott Deck underneath. Deck looping around is pushed away by 4 different Episcopal defenders before he finally dumps across to McBride. McBride over top of the back of the cage, and coming around is Luke O'Grady for the dish and the score, and it is 7-4 Episcopal, sorry, 7-4 Haverford with 7:33 left to play in the third.
Yes, Henderson. Yes. Here we go, one. Let's go, one. Let's go on five. Right, McCown, Lucas, and Rowan. Right.
And Episcopal is going to quickly need to turn something over to try to get back into this game before they see the remainder of the clock sag away from them. And this is a face-off loss, and a rare face-off loss for Jack Henderson, has Haverford coming off of just scoring a goal with control of the ball. Hard push up. Salvaggio has it on the left side now. Salvaggio trying to work that left side, cannot find anything. He dumps off to O'Grady, and O'Grady and Salvaggio having a little toss and catch. Resets up top with Peyton Holloway. Holloway looking that left side to Salvaggio. He was looking across at Garno, but Garno was flushed out on defense by Quinn Chambers. So they try to dump down to the corner, and Deck will restart for Haverford. Up top to Holloway. Chambers is flushing out the ability for them to go across to Garno. He is marking him hard. And Holloway has to try to run around. Salvaggio goes inside. A three-man wall, and over top of that wall goes TJ Malone for yet another Haverford School goal. And they have now doubled the lead out. It is 8-4 with 6:19 left to go in the third. And if we had a stopwatch to clock the number of minutes that have gone by since Episcopal scored a goal, it's not something you would think to need to bring to a lacrosse game, as goals seem to come plentiful on both sides normally. And here's a face-off win by Henderson. Drive down, no avail. But they maintain possession, and Brumbaugh will have the restart. Rowan Brumbaugh up top to Furry. Furry trying to look for something, dishes down, it is blocked away by Harrison Fellheimer. Fellheimer has been strong in the cage for Haverford today after giving up two very early goals. He has only allowed two more in, while his fellow teammates have put 8 on the board for an 8-4 lead. Tosses around Furry. Furry trying to look for anything inside. He can't find a door, so he goes to Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh across to Lucas Synan. Synan trying to find a door. He can't get one, so he dishes deep in the corner to McCown. And it comes back around to Furry. Furry just tries to drive through the middle. Not to his advantage, but a Episcopal ball is kept by Nick Bates. Bates coming from the back door, trying to look for anything around the corner. Loose ball down. Bates picks it up. Dishes around to Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh trying to find any possible hole through that Haverford defense. Off on the angle to Synan. Synan getting pushed around from the stick of Jack Leary. Just goes behind the cage. And an almost hook by Edward King for Haverford. And the pass is a loose ball that becomes Haverford possession. Haverford will start to try to work the right side. A quick run up that side from Costin. Costin up top with Gibson. Sorry, Pierce Glavin. Check that as number 18. Glavin up top of the point. And a restart is going to go to the corner for Scott Deck. Three up top for Haverford is Costin, Glavin, and McBride. And it'll be Costin setting the offense from the left-hand side. Costin 1v1 trying to deke against Will Yo. Sorry, check that against Carson Fisher. And Fisher holds him off enough. Now Galvin tries to take a run against Chambers. Chambers holds him off. Ball sails out to the right side corner. Still Haverford possession. On the restart by TJ Malone. Malone netting a couple of goals today for Haverford. Part of their 8 on the board so far, as we sit 8-4 with 2:56 to go in the third. Pushing inside is Matt Costin. He can't go against Fisher, and a loose ball will still be held by Costin. Costin trying to go underneath to Malone. Malone quickly went up top to O'Grady, who tried to go for goal. But his shot sails wide to the corner. Restarted by Deck. Haverford has had all of the offense in this third quarter. 2 goals scored by them, which took their lead from 6-4 to now 8-4. And an end-around dish from O'Grady. Does not find the cage, but does not find an EA player, and Haverford maintains advantage. O'Grady underneath to Malone on the wraparound. They run with Glavin, McBride, and Costin up top. This is McBride. McBride trying to find the right-hand side. He is pushed away from anything by Fisher, and the shot from Malone goes right into the net of Matt Chess. Chess finally to the outside to McCann, and then back to Chess, and it is a toss upward to Fisher, who then slips, but the ball is able to bounce back to Colin Lawhead, and Lawhead finally has it into the offensive zone, run by Quinn Chambers. Switches on the play for Episcopal. Chambers goes out, Fisher, that's Cordy Fisher coming in. And the aforementioned Cordy Fisher with the ball on that right side, working the corner with Charlie Cunniff. Cunniff around the backside of the cage. Picked up by Hunter. Dish and dump, and a score by Nick Bates. 37.4 seconds remaining in the third. They break the drought and push it to 8-5. Still a 3-goal deficit for Episcopal. But they are in play now, as with 12-minute periods in lacrosse, anything is possible. A 3-goal deficit is not anything to look at in the face if you're Haverford to say, we have this game in the bag. And a holding call on the faceoff will give the win to Henderson. Loose ball, scrambled around, finally picked up. Dumped, and a loose ball again, and a hook to the head. Rowan Brumbaugh took a stick right up inside of his face mask, and 2 flags fly. And we're gonna have to see how this call comes across from the officials. Brumbaugh had the ball. He did pick up the loose ball. Was running down the right-hand side before he got a stick check to his head. And instead, all that gets called is a hold to Ed King for 30 seconds. So after all of that, it is the least egregious penalty that can be called in lacrosse. And Episcopal will have to try to do something very quickly here as the buzzer to end the third is about to come. It does. And we've completed 3 with Haverford leading 8-5. You're watching Boys Lacrosse on the Sports Fanbase Network. We get started with 4th quarter action on the Sports Fanbase Network. Haverford leading Episcopal 8-5. Episcopal did put 1 on the board before the 3rd quarter buzzer sounded, which was their first of the second half, and broke a very long scoreless drought as they try to get one started right here, and a quick shot inside by Charlie Cuniff. And Episcopal maintains offensive possession. Cuniff down underneath, and a rip and a score by Gabe Fury. He has been quiet all day, one of the most lethal attack players for Episcopal. All of a sudden comes alive. At 11:19 remaining in the game, it is 8-6. for Fury, his 20th goal of the season. That leads the team and continues to do so. And it couldn't come at a better time for the Churchmen.
Take a blow. Nate, you're going on this one. Okay, so it's 1, 2.
Center face-off. Henderson trying to get the win. It squibs out and it is picked up on the long pole by Brendan Huff. He tosses back to the goaltender, Matt Chess, who switches to the left side, and it is again a long pole D and Ryan McCann trying to get the move. Gets it up top, and it's Declan McCarthy. McCarthy trying to spark this Episcopal offense to a comeback here in the fourth quarter. They trail by 2 at 8-6. 15 is Chris McCown. He is running the offense up top with Brumbaugh and Furry. Brumbaugh on the left side, motioning around. He gets McCown up top. They go deep into the corner and bring it back around on the rotation with Nick Bates. Bates and Cuniff, the deep men. Brumbaugh controlling the left side. Because of the speed of the game, clock is not an issue, though they are ticking time off by trying to run a docile offense. And Fury goes inside, loop around again, and a dish over top of the goal. Still maintained by Episcopal. As they come up top to McCown, and he will reset the play with Nate Hunter. Hunter and Fury up top, along with McCown, and they go deep in the corner now as they continue to work the rotation. Hunter back across to McCown. McCown looking inside, he is checked across his stick, loose ball, scrambled for, still loose and picked up by Rowan Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh quickly to Hunter. Hunter in a size match with Gavin Burke, which Hunter has a few inches of victory on that, and will take the point of attack here for Episcopal. 8:42 remaining in the match. That is not minding the fact that Episcopal could put 2 on the board and tie this thing up, which they are trying to get to. Fury looking inside. He tries to go to Hunter, and Hunter misses the ball. It comes across, and a scramble for the loose ball is then picked up, and he's stepped out of bounds, but not called by the officials. So a toss up to midfield has a loose ball. That is picked up by Haverford, and Malone has it. Malone trying to work the right side. Can't find an alleyway, so they dump behind the cage. O'Grady looses it around, and it's Garno. Garno and Salvaggio up top with Peyton Holloway. Holloway thought he had it, was trying to look to pass, did not have a complete cradle. Ball popped out, but he's able to pick up, and Salvaggio goes for a run. Salvaggio goes up the middle, loose ball. Stick checks abound as the ball squibs through the legs of a few players before it is apparently picked up again and controlled by O'Grady. So the the Episcopal defense certainly pushing hard and trying to pressure the sticks of these short midfielders for Haverford. Outside on the wing to Jake Spencer. Sorry, take that back. That's actually 33, which is Garneau. As the numbers on the Haverford jerseys are starting to elude us as they get further away and deeper into the darkness that is shaded over the field. There are lights on the field, but they are only in the very far four corners of the field, which is leaving some dark patches through the middle. And as the sun sets on this Friday evening, could make for some difficult visibility issues for players and fans alike. And a ripped shot from Garneau finds the netting of Matt Chess's stick. And Episcopal has a run coming up with Quinn Chambers. Cordy Fisher up top, trying to get the offense set for Episcopal. He goes in to Jackson Tuma. Tuma dumping across to Schellinger. Schellinger goes underneath to Cuniff. Cuniff in the corner comes all the way back up top to Cordy Fisher, and they go around to Gabe Fury. Fury, length of the field pass to Tuma, who goes in the deep corner, and the roundabout from Cuniff does not have anything to Episcopal's advantage as a flag flies and a penalty is called for a slash on Haverford's number 26, Ed King. He will go to the box for 1 minute. And putting Episcopal on the power play, this could be extremely beneficial for them with 5:03 left on the clock and finding themselves still down 2 goals, 8-6. Tuma up top to McCown. McCown trying to look, he will switch fields and then goes up the middle, dumped right down inside to Nick Bates, who puts another one on the board, and this game all of a sudden is 8-7, the power play goal from Bates for Episcopal. 4:50 left on the clock, and we have ourselves a ball game. This will be one of the most crucial face-offs Jack Henderson will take this season for the Churchmen. If he can come up with a win right here, it could set a very big precedence. And he does, a straight victory on the face-off. Henderson runs straight down. A dip and dump to Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh to Fury. Episcopal's offense is running high-octane fuel right now. Rowan Brumbaugh on the outside. They go to the corner. Looking underneath for Nick Bates, who just scored a goal. It's Chris McCown coming around. Up to Jackson Tuma. Tuma gives it to Fury, and Fury tries to settle. Starts off taking a run right through the middle, staring down Ryan Nigaman in the process. And Nigaman has him locked on now as he is just staring, moving his head back and forth, but not letting Gabe Fury out of his sights. Episcopal with the restart brings Chris McCown up top. McCown and Tuma 1-2 at the top. Fury Cuniff 3-4 in the mid. 5-6 deep is Bates and Brumbaugh. And a timeout called by Episcopal with 3:35 left to go, and EA only trailing by 1 now. Today's game is brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions, a longtime supporter of Philadelphia area and youth high school athletics. Payroll Service Solutions provides not only the basics of running your company payroll, but can also provide your company healthcare and retirement benefit plans, as well as all your company insurance needs. If you are a small to medium-sized business looking for a payroll and benefits company, contact Payroll Service Solutions today at 1-866-PAY-EASY or go to their website at www.payroll-solution.com. And we thank Payroll Service Solutions and all of our sponsors throughout the course of this spring sports season on the Sports Fan-Based Network.
Yeah, so if you search SFBN or the Sports Fan-Based Network, we posted it.
The Episcopal student body directly across the field from our position have come alive and started to get rowdy, trying to root their EA Churchman Boys Lacrosse team to a comeback. They were down 8-4 at one point. They have gotten this game to 8-7 with 3:35 to go. And at 8-4 and a 4-goal advantage, you would start to feel that you might see looks of consternation on the faces of the EA players who, from our broadcast position, are directly below us, and yet all we've heard out of them is, we're not done. They are looking to complete this comeback. EA on the restart and a fast run by Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh behind the cage with Charlie Cuniff. Tuma is in the mid. And now Brumbaugh trying to work the left-hand side. Up top to Chris McCown. McCown takes a body-to-body run, comes to an avail, and a quick shot. Loose ball still bouncing around and is picked up by Episcopal. Tuma has it. Ripped shot on the toss from Nick Bates goes out wide. And Episcopal will have to restart deep with Cuniff. 2:42 left to play. Bates. Tuma with the pick as he comes around up top. Brumbaugh to McCown. Back to Brumbaugh. McCown and Brumbaugh having a little toss and catch right now. And now it'll be McCown trying to make a run down the right-hand side. He comes up inside. Dumps underneath the cage. Tuma looking for a run. Tuma has a shot over top of the crossbar. And with 2:08, EA holds. It'll be Bates, who picked up the ball at first. Now he's going to dump it off, and Gabe Fury's going to take the restart. Fury has the restart. 2 minutes left to go. Fury coming up top. Goes off to Cuniff. Cuniff looks inside Bates. Around to Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh trying to find a run. He is caught in traffic. And Gabe Fury comes up limping hard. And he's going to have to walk off the field. And it looks like just a cramp for Fury. Something the EA coaches certainly don't want to see him coming up with just 1:48 left to go. And Lucas Senden is going to come in to replace Fury as they go underneath to Bates. Bates up top to Tuma. Tuma looks for McCown. McCown to Synan. Synan goes across to Brumbaugh. 1:32. Time ticking away. Oh, and a complete dump of Brumbaugh. Still got pulled as well. The flag flew. The call is going to be a push on Mbago Mwange for Haverford. 30 seconds in the box, and this could be the biggest power play of the game for Episcopal as a timeout is called by Haverford. And the Episcopal bench jumping, screaming, "Let's go white," as that timeout got called. .124 left on the clock in the fourth quarter of a game that started the second half at 8-4, has now found itself 8-7.
What's the company again?
Sports Fan Base Network. Stay on my back. It might stay on.
Yeah, it does. I have
You couldn't ask for a better way to complete
Thanks, man.
a very spring-filled Friday. As we are now into the second week of May, and it finally feels like spring has actually truly arrived in the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. I just went for you. Thanks, man. Glad it's working though.
Yeah, it's good, too.
Thank you.
Coming out of the timeout, a reset has us 8-7, 1:24 left to go in the fourth quarter. A penalty for a push was called on Haverford's Mbago Mwange. He's in the box for 30 seconds. EA has the ball underneath, started out by Nick Bates. Bates looking for a run, Rowan Brumbaugh. Back to Bates, to Tuma. Up top to McCown, across to Fury. McCown again. 1 minute left to go. Underneath, and a shot by Brumbaugh is stopped by Harrison Fellheimer, and Haverford can essentially try to find a way, but a loose ball. Haverford tried a long distance throw, and a dump down, and another penalty is going to get called. Haverford tried to go for a long distance throw. It ended up a loose ball. It was picked up by one of the long stick Ds from Episcopal. It looked to be Colin Lawhead, and Lawhead immediately got dumped, and the push gets called. So 40.3 on the clock finds Haverford in the box again, with Costin getting it called for the push, and Brumbaugh has the ball at the point, underneath to Tuma, inside score by Charlie Cuniff, and we are knotted at 8 with 26.6 to play. This, folks, is why we say Episcopal and Haverford in Interac, in the state of Pennsylvania, in many respects this country, are two of the elite high school boys lacrosse programs, and they have just shown why in the entirety of the 48 minutes of this game today. Center field faceoff. Quick pickup from Jack Henderson. Henderson has a run down, a shot wide and outside with 18.7 seconds left is a pickup by Nick Bates, but Episcopal will call a timeout. And it was Episcopal's Ryan McCann coming off of the field as the timeout was called, who just looked at a few of his teammates, including Jack Henderson, and said, "Are you kidding me?" Well, we're not kidding you. You were down 4 goals and have come back to tie this game at 8-all. For Haverford School's coaches, they might actually have the look of consternation on their face, trying to figure out how they stop this avalanche that has been started by Episcopal's offense here through the 4th quarter. Episcopal is out of timeouts. Haverford has 1 remaining. 18.7 seconds left in regulation. It will be Nick Bates deep in the corner. He goes to Tuma. Tuma to Brumbaugh. Clock ticking away. Brumbaugh is going to try to make a run. Goes up top, can't find anything. 5 seconds on the clock, shot deep. Goes to the corner with 3.1 seconds left. They will have to basically throw this over the top of the cage and have somebody make a dump right in. Fury on the inbound, goes quick, they go over top and it doesn't go. As the horn sounds, the shot from Charlie Cuniff cannot find the net, and we find ourselves miraculously headed to overtime.
How much time for overtime?
Sudden death. I think the time is
Coach Gibbs,
4 minutes. Yeah,
how
4
much time
minutes.
on OT?
4 minutes.
4.
It is 4 minutes.
It is a 4-minute sudden death overtime as the captains meet at center field. A coin flip between Ryan McCann and TJ Malone. We'll find Episcopal on the left-hand side of our broadcast position, their bench side. This game started with Episcopal coming right out of the gates, a quick 2-goal lead. It went back and forth, bouncing to where Haverford at one point had it 4-2. They continued to see that out to 6-4, and then eventually to 8-4 early on in the third. All of a sudden, it became a complete shutdown, and 4 goals the opposite direction as Episcopal came all the way back to tie this game at 8-all with about 26 seconds left to go in the 4th, and we now find ourselves headed to overtime. Episcopal to our left, Jack Henderson trying to get the face-off win again. And an infraction on the face-off will give it Haverford's way. Gavin Burke will get started on the offense. And a quick whistle and a timeout called by Haverford, and that is their only available timeout in the overtime period. And if you're wondering why on a quick offensive pickup just 7 seconds in, Haverford would want to call the timeout, that is because in high school, as it is in college, as it is in the pros, it is a golden goal situation. That means that should Haverford score on this offensive possession, the game would be over. Haverford would go on to have a 9-4 victory. So calling that timeout right away gives Haverford that opportunity to try to set the strategy to go from the pickup after the timeout is completed. Episcopal is going to try to figure out any possible way to keep Haverford away off to the wings and hoping they can, through stick checks, create a loose ball that will find themselves going the other way as the EA student body continues to throw just about every single school cheer they have out of the books.
There's nothing on the screen, right? Just a bug in the top corner. Is the SFBN logo right here? Yeah?
They are hoping to be able to celebrate on their home pitch. This is a late season game and one of the last home games Episcopal hosts, so this is a last chance for the home fans to see their seniors who have come up very big today. Declan McCarthy very strong in the midfield, along with Chris McCown leading the offense from up top. Ryan McCann getting a couple of loose balls defensively. And Haverford, quick on the run here, is Peter Garno. Garno up top, and a shot as he dumps to TJ Malone is scored, and Haverford has the victory at 9-8. Heartbreak for the Churchmen as jubilation abounds for the Haverford School forwards. But neither team really could be called the defeated ones in a game like this. It may sit 9-8 Haverford on the board, but you have just seen a Pennsylvania Boys Lacrosse classic. Episcopal will collect themselves and quickly get a discussion from their coaching staff. Haverford getting a discussion from their coaching staff, and then the two teams will cross and handshake at midfield as they wish each other the best of luck to the remainder of their seasons. It's a 4-minute overtime quarter, so there was 3:32 still sitting on the clock, so that goal came just 28 seconds into the overtime period. And not much can be said other than, what a game. Well, that concludes tonight's broadcast on the Sports Fanbase Network. Powered tonight by Payroll Service Solutions, and we thank Payroll Service Solutions and all of our sponsors throughout the course of the SFBN season. From Episcopal Academy, this is Matt Jolas signing off. Thanks, everyone, and have a great evening.
We'll be right back.